Hey, welcome to another Milepost here on the V-Twin Life. V-Twin Life is brought to you by a few great companies. One being Crash Inc. Clothing. You can find them out of Oregon. Great company, specialized in clothes, doing work on bikes now. You can check them out at crashinclothing.com. They got a lot of great stuff. Hey, head on over there. Maybe they got something you like. And we can't forget Wild Ass. You like pounding miles, you like riding, you want to be in comfort? Hey, maybe strap a Wild Ass under your ass and ride with an air cushion and be comfortable for hours. And can't forget Custom Dynamics, leading the industry in lighting LED technology. Man, these guys got some great stuff. So head on over to Custom Dynamics and check it out. Now, let's get to another milepost of the V-Twin Life. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another milepost. Here we are at 103. Moving up in the world. We've gone into triple digits. It's freaking crazy. This ride's still going, but man, it's a lot of fun. You got to meet a lot of great people. And tonight we got Alicia out of Southern California. I would pronounce her IG name wrong, so I'll let her do that so I don't butcher it bad. But thank you for coming on and wanting to share some adventures and your stories.
For sure. Thank you. It's Kipe.al. So it's the owl comes from Alicia and the Kipe comes from Kuipers. So that's my
Hey, that works. I would have butchered it, and it's not something I like to do. So we just try to keep it nice. And
for sure.
So let's start with how I always like to. How did you find motorcycles?
Yeah, so back in the day I had a boyfriend who had some friends, some hooligan friends who liked like the camping and all of that. My parents never had taken me camping, didn't do like much of the outdoor stuff other than like some hikes and traveling. But he got me into dirt bike riding. My first bike was a China made, like backwards shifting, all of that. And it stuck. I just liked getting out and Aquatilla Wells and going to the dunes, riding in the sand. Got pretty good at that. And then switched over to the streets back in 2013.
So how was the conversion going? Because, I mean, I understand how it was for me going from dirt to street. I mean, you understand motorcycles, clutch, brakes and all that, but it's a bit of a different animal switching because you kind of, in a way, things are a little different, with concrete and asphalt as opposed to, sand and dirt.
For sure. It was one of those things that being a shorter person, I wanted an enduro because I wanted to be able just to ride up the mountain and go up there, do the jumps and all of that, and then head on back. But all the enduros, KTM, everything sits up super high, so ended up doing the Harley thing because the seats lower, all of that, and just fell in love with being able to enjoy that outside and all of that, and struggled definitely a little with the splitting lanes initially. That was really intimidating.
I don't know if I could do that.
No?
Oh, I mean, right. It's not legal up here. I don't know. It's just, for me, it's like, the beggar, I mean, she's a white girl. I don't know. It'd be very different for me and definitely would take some getting used to, maybe. I don't know.
It's something, SoCal's gotten even busier just within the short amount, the time that I've been out here. I moved out here freshman year of high school. It's been a while, but it just gets busier and busier, and people now cell phones, that changed everything. So everyone's on their cell phone, you're splitting next to them. You see that they're not looking at you, even coming back yesterday from, the countryside on the 101 freeway, it just, you look like you're going to touch.
It's funny you say you're riding the 101 freeway because 101 is literally 300 yards from my house. Just up the road is 101.
I'm sure it's a little bit different out there than it is out here.
I'm sure it is. But no, I totally understand. Like, cell phones, how many times I've been in the turn lane, waiting to turn down the road to go to my house on 101, and you see the car coming at you and they're staring at their phone. Like, Jesus, it's a very uneasy feeling. Whether I'm
Yeah.
in the car, motorcycle, or even, in my work truck, which I mean, I, drive a freaking semi for a living. And it's like, come on, people, get
You're
off your damn
calling on
phone.
me. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And I don't think we're ever going back to, not having it. So the
Yeah.
motorcycle community, I think all of us have had to just adjust, but people are
Yeah. It's just
stupid.
one of those things.
Yeah.
It's got to get used to it over time. But yeah, it's like I said, it's here to stay and it's definitely not going to go anywhere.
I keep wondering how it was like going back to the 70s and just being like, without having that concern. Um, People being observant and just enjoying the open road and traveling and, I don't know.
Yeah. So what was the style of, when you first got into it? Did, you kind of slowly get into wanting to, travel more or, distance riding or, kind of what really got you going when you started getting on the road?
Sure. So, started on the sporty. The longest ride that I had done at that time, like early on, was going to Laughlin. So it's from LA to Laughlin. So good few hours or whatever. I really like the longer distance. So since then I've ridden out to Mexico twice, ridden out to Washington. You're in your neck of the woods. That's
There
when
you
I did
go.
the 2 1Ks in a day. Both times were, out and then coming back. The
How far up
distance,
into Washington did you go?
I think we went over. I think I rode like 1,250 miles or something. So, however, to get some of the guys lived closer out there. So I had gotten my 1K, but they hadn't yet. So we still had to keep riding until the rest of the group got their miles. But
It's
yeah,
crazy how odometers are so different. I mean, random that riding, a group of us, there's, one BMW and everybody else is on Harleys, but the odometer swing was almost between the 7 bikes we did last summer is like 68 miles.
we had the same exact thing that when coming back, just dead tired. But one of my friends, like, he was like a 60-mile difference or whatever. So when we had asked, I was like, dude, he rode all the miles with me. You know what I mean? Can you just give it
Yeah.
to him or whatever? So yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing.
But yeah, I love those. I love the traveling, going to the different states, moto camping. I did the Oregon run. Loved waking up and then packing up, getting some more miles, and just being able to do that like easy rider thing. I feel like,
It's fun.
yeah. Doing Sturgis this year, so that'll be interesting. That will be an adventure. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I know we were talking about that last night. That'll be a lot of fun. You got some beautiful country you get to go through. I mean, there's definitely a place like we talked last night. I'd love to visit down through Colorado and parts of Utah. Wouldn't that would just be awesome?
Yeah. I'm excited for that. We talked about what is it, wild ass, the seats. I literally
Oh yeah.
did a search on all of that, so I'll be set for that.
They are worth it. That is for sure. So what came after the Sportster? I mean, you had that for a while, then kind of upgraded a wee bit.
Upgraded. So the Lowrider S. I bought that brand new. It was a 2020. Had some really good times on that. Had tried to learn and do the work, with one of my friends. It's one of those things where, being the girl, wanting to understand like the components and what this is, and really get into the riding, not just do the riding, but how things work, what the cam is, what my exhaust does, put on the grips myself, FaceTiming friends to do my my levers, all of that, like, really embraced it on that bike. Unfortunately, it was 2022 where the accident happened, so he went to bike heaven. And then I bought the new 2020 lowrider to me, which had 1,400 miles on it when I got it.
Just hit the break-in service point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So did the service or whatever, and actually I got a Dakota Digital on that thing, so the odometer was reading 000. So I'm claiming all the miles now on that bike. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you had the Sportster for a while then.
It's a 2014 883 iron. I think we talked last night. It's got over 30,000 miles on that. All of those were mine.
Nice.
Yeah. So when I upgraded, my ass was very grateful for that. I still ride that thing sometimes. I'm like, how did I do it for so long? But they're great bikes. Super fun. Super lightweight.
That they are.
Yeah. Good times.
No, they're, a great intro bike for people to get comfortable with and, get familiar with riding, and then, ride until you feel like, all right, I need a little bit more, and go from there and upgrade a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually what happened for me when I upgraded was I had gone into Laidlaw's Harley just to take a look, the Dyna to the Softail, all of that was happening at that time. So, just seeing, and they had just come out and thinking they were gorgeous or whatever, but just looking, and I had gone on one of these rides where the Dyna bros were just like sending it off the line and smoking me, all of this. I was getting so frustrated with the Sporty, and that day I just walked in and bought a bike randomly, and very grateful for that, because this has been great. It's so comfortable. Love the bike.
Awesome. And then, that's had fun. All right. Now you got something new. Now time to, make it yours. Do little stuff and make it fit you and your personality, your style. And, that's the fun part of the stuff is you get it and all right, cool. Now it's time to make this mine, put my touches on it and have fun.
100%. I mean, you see people's personalities through their bikes, I think we talked about that yesterday too. It was like California's interesting with the Vikla culture and all of that, and I love looking at some of those bikes and just how different, the fishtail, exhausted, all of that, not for me, but I love looking at all of this and their crazy cool paint jobs. And then we got the club scene, and then we got the, the Hell Yeah Brothers who, some of these classic, just mile munching bikes,
The fishtails look nice until you have to ride behind somebody for a while with them. Oh my God. My brother has them on his. He built a beautiful Heritage. I mean, it is a gorgeous bike. And when I was down in Idaho a couple summers ago, we're, riding behind him. We're just taking a cruise up to Idaho City on some back roads and got stuck. I was following him because that's his neck of the woods, but dear God, so fucking loud.
Your eardrums, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got the points like, I am done following you. Holy God.
So that is a question. I am very curious on riders for wearing like earplugs and things. Like I've had this discussion with some different riders, like the tinnitus or whatever, the ringing that people have in their ears, not getting any younger. I'm curious, like, do people wear them? Do you like them? Do they,
I know a handful of people that ride with them, and they say cuts the wind noise and everything else, and I've seen people do. I've never personally worn earplugs while I was riding, but like I said, I've seen people that do, and they love it, and to each their own.
Yeah, I was just curious on like how that works with hearing things, and then your music being played in your helmet and all of that, but.
And I mean, I guess it, will dampen some of the weather wind noise and whatnot, but there's times like, I'll have my Alexa and, I'll play my, music or whatever in my helmet, but I also, keep it, I don't turn up real loud so the way I can still hear my surroundings, what's going on. But yeah, I've never tried the earplugs. Just my helmet's pretty decent, so I don't get a whole lot of wind noise in it. Plus, you know, the clock works. It does great at pushing the wind up over. I don't get a lot of wind buffering, and so I've never tried them.
For me, it was just the other day, my helmet, you know, the Cardo died, and I'm like listening to my exhaust, and then it was like super windy, and I'm thinking like, damn, the nurse part in me kicked in, and I was all, dude, what damage am I doing to my ears right now? I would be freaking like 70 and be like, what'd you say?
What's Moose saying? I've had tinnitus since I was 5.
No help with the constant need to answer.
But yeah, I don't know. One of them things, you know, some people do. You know, I see a lot of people, it seems that I've really seen I've noticed are the serious long distance guys that really use them. And I've seen, you know, whether you meet them at a gas station or something, they're loaded up and, you know, they're doing mega miles or whatnot. And, you know, they seem to be wearing them, but yeah, I've just never done it.
Might have to try that. I'm going to try it.
So what's your favorite kind of style of riding that you've, you know, since you've been going for a while? You know what? You know, you're more just, I know like you can tell you do, you know, some good, you know, day riding, but, you know, you really enjoy getting out for the adventurous, you know, overnight, couple day trips to just check places out.
Yeah. You know, when I was up in Oregon, my very good friend Shu, he took us up to like where Mount Hood is or whatever. So
that's
going
freaking
to
gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly. My buddies down here in California, we're always riding to food. So girls put on a little, like I hang out with the big boys. So we're always riding to food, you know. But honestly, for me, the trips that I can get out of the city a little bit, I love LA for what it has. But riding to the beach and things like nature and just getting out to those more remote places, that's what I love. I love the canyons. I love going up to Malibu, like Neptune's Net for us down here, all of that. Even Cook's Corner, if you're in SoCal area, like it's a little bit just out of the way, out of the concrete. And that's probably my favorite parts, is just that escape.
If you ever get up to Mount Hood again, we found a great place and we went over it. I've been up there twice. But if you're going up, you get towards the top, there's government camp, and it must be a couple 100 yards going east is Lake Trillium. You go down this little road for about a couple miles, and there's this little lake up there. I'll send you a couple photos. We had the bikes lined up. There's a little dam they made there, and we had Mount Hood, like an exact mirror image in the lake. We had some pictures, and buddy Steve took his drone up there, and Lake Trillium is absolutely gorgeous up on top.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do we talked about like Zion and the arches and all of that in Utah. Super excited to see all of that. Montana we talked about.
Montana, there's some areas of Montana that are beautiful, and western Wyoming, Jackson Hole, the Teton area, went through that. That is just stunning. After you go through a lot of the stuff and you see pictures and whatnot, all these different, you know, travel places, and the Tetons are an absolutely gorgeous mountain range and just beautiful.
Yeah. Clockwork Shelton out in San Diego, all of them, like so he's in Mitchell and or Clockworks is all there. But my mom grew up in the farm country out in South Dakota in a little town, Corsica. They've got like less than 1,000 people in that town or whatever. So again, seeing some of those photos of the riders and being out where the bison are and the Black Hills, like that again is just something I'm super excited for.
Black Hills are gorgeous. I mean, it'll be a little crowded, but especially if you're up there, I mean, you got to at least try to, you know, do the Needles and do Iron Mountain Road and Mount Rushmore. That's a good little loop. You can do all that, but be a little more crowded during the rally, but it's absolutely awesome country. I think, to me, I think Iron Mountain Road was more fun than the Needles. The Needles has some cool scenery, but just the switchbacks and whatnot on Iron Mountain Road are just awesome.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm
the
down
dragon of
for
the West Coast.
any suggestions on where to go or what to see. I'm down. Yeah.
How long are you guys going to be there?
You broke up a little there. Sorry.
How long are you guys going to be up in South Dakota?
4 days. 4 days.
Okay, not bad.
So we got some time.
So you're going to take, what, 3 days to get up there? Or
We
longer?
leave on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's I think we're gone for 9 days in total.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, especially, like areas you're talking, even, southern going through Utah and whatnot that'll be just awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm super excited. Yeah.
See, I've only been as far in Utah as Salt Lake City, and that was many, many years. That was probably almost 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah. I've seen a teacher on two wheels. Another friend just got back. He's got like, I think 1 or 2 more states left. And like, it's gotta be just amazing, just to go across country, come on back. I don't know.
I think traveling by motorcycle is just so much fun. It's more intimate, it's more personal, the smells, everything. And it's an awesome way to explore, especially, when you ride and you get off the interstates, ride the back highways and really see America and see all the stuff that so many people have no idea it's there. And it's just, that's the fun of it. It might take you a little longer, if you have the time, but I think it's always so well worth it.
Yeah, we talked about that, like knowing where the locals go. So if anyone's in another state on the way out to Sturgis, let me know so I know where to stop and where your favorite grub is, because the boys are, definitely there for some of it for the food.
Oh yeah, that's all part of the fun of it. There's
Hell
a
yeah.
cool place outside of the south, and you go out of Deadwood, go through Lead, the Boar's Nest. It is a kick-ass place. I found it over there because Two Lane Life was there like 2 weeks before I went over there last summer, before all of us, and me and Jason and Springer Mike and Nick and a bunch of them, we went up there, and it was fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, those guys, Galen and Lance and Jay were at the rally yesterday, but what a life. The things that they've seen and the inspiration. I followed them from the very beginning, and it's just one of those things. Yeah, just absolutely amazing.
Oh, it'll be a lot of fun just to go and travel like they do. It'll be so much fun.
I know. I'm like, how do I sign up for that?
Yeah. Got to play the lottery more than 4 times a year.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be nice.
So have you done much outfitting for your bike to get it ready for traveling and the longer adventures, or?
So, most of the bike for the building part, me and my buddy just finished maybe like a month or 2 ago. So it was kind of cool because some of the parts, I could take from the last bike and put on here. So, bars, the seat setup, the risers, all of that added the cam and all of that. That stuff is all ready for comfort for the ride. The bike already had Leather Pros on there, which I've never used. Going up to Washington, it was using the little thrashing packs and then piling stuff on top of that, and the sissy bar bag and all of that. So I'm super excited to have the Leather Pros for this. Utilize that, and then just have another big tea bag, whatever. What do you call those?
Well, yeah, there's so many types of. The sissy bar bags. I actually still have one of the original. When tea bag, they actually were. I'm not sure if they're still in business or not. My dad bought one, and I used it for a long time on old bikes. When we went to South Dakota, my son put it on his V-Star, and it's a great bag. But so many types of different tail bags you can put on the back for, over Sissy Bar, and Viking Bag just sent me their new tactical backpack to try out and see what I think of it. So, and it's
Yeah,
actually, I was amazed that it's pretty freaking nice.
really?
Yeah, great quality and a lot of pockets, a lot of crap in it. It's like, this is actually pretty impressive. I've used it a couple times, but I want to, get a few more trips with it and really see how much more I, like, because I don't want to get something and instantly do, oh, this is the greatest thing. Well, no, I'm going to put it through its paces and really use it before I, give him my opinion, do a little, review on it. Cause that kind of stuff's new to me, but it was really cool that they reached out to me and wanted me to try out some of their products and see what I think of them. So that'll be great.
Yeah, actually, I had seen that bag and was curious on that. So you will have to do an update on all of that. Yesterday during the Live Fast rally, I had won 2 of the Builtwell bags. So I am kind of curious on these as well because they're obviously waterproof, and I don't know what we're gonna hit. Got my rain gear all set, but being waterproof or whatever, that definitely has some appeal to me too.
Yeah, waterproof / water resistant. That can be interesting when people say that, is because, well, like when I went down to Brad's about a month ago, I hit the hardest rain I've ever ridden in my life. And I wore my Joe Rocket gear, which is supposed to be, waterproof, water resistant, whatever they say. Well, it was raining so hard. There was 2 to 3 inches of standing water on the highway, and within a minute, it went through my coat, and I had water pooling up in the elbows in my coat and everything, and I was fucking soaked.
Well, then there's that.
It's just one of those things. I mean, I guess, there's a limit to it, but, that's another thing I bought that I learned from Riot, who started Mile Monsters, who I do a lot of riding for, and is you can get them at Walmart of the dry bags. You can get like a 3-pack for $10 with different sizes, and you can pack stuff in there, roll them up and seal them, clip it somewhere on your bike. And those things, they were great. Keep your stuff dry. And if you rip it or something happens to one of them, God, the 3-pack's like $10, no big deal. Buy more of them.
Okay. Yeah, any tidbits, I'm all down for this. That will be the longest ride that I have done. So I'm excited for this.
It'll be fun. I'll be looking forward to, following your adventures or your stories of that, because it's so much fun doing that, getting out on the road and just go.
Right. It's different. I think we talked about that too. Just being in a car and it like you watching a movie versus being, in it and the actual actor or, the main character of the story.
Yeah.
Who's still crying? Still crying about that rain? It was bad, huh? I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was some fucking rain. But I will say the Kimi Moto lowers that I got for Christmas, my feet were still dry. Those things worked out freaking awesome.
Okay. I was worried about, shoes, all of that.
The soft lowers are great. I mean, and, blocked all the rain. But yeah, a good pair. I mean, for me, also you see so many pictures of people, riding in tennis shoes and whatnot. For me, it's growing up riding, most of my life, I won't ride unless I'm wearing my boots. And I got, different pairs of different boots and whatnot. But I got a great pair of Indy Ridge boots they're comfortable. Plus I have, a couple different pairs of Danners, but I'm just one of those person, if I'm riding, I'm wearing my boots, and that's my style. What works for me. And, with some of them, I will say that what I really liked with the Indy Ridge is they got amazing freaking ankle support. And over the years of all the years of racing and whatnot I did younger, I've destroyed my ankles. I can walk on flat ground and roll my ankle and damn near fall on my face, and my ankles be foobarred for a week. But so, for me, it's like having something that's got that good support is absolutely awesome.
That's interesting. I mean, for Southern California, I mean, most of the guys, you see them, they're in their vans or whatever. And that was one of the things, like, I get it. The nurse part kicks in and it's like, dude, what will end up happening? That ankle, that foot being ripped off, this and that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I've always wanted to like reach out to Vans and be like, yo, can you make something with ankle support and something, safe for our riders? I mean, there's a huge market for all of that. for me, it was interesting during that accident was I was wearing knee-high Harley-Davidson boots, and both of them flew off in that accident. I don't
Really?
know how. That impact was bad. I mean, I flew, 25 feet or whatnot, but like to this day, the physics of it, how the hell did both those damn knee-high boots come flying off? I don't know.
But how did the crash sink raincoat fare? Did it shred?
So Brad is so awesome. He actually, after the accident, those guys, I got so much love for, all of them. Adam, after his accident, we've been talking crash buddies or whatever. After Crash went in his, bought the shirts. I'm wearing his, I'm still standing today. He actually sent me another jacket that his jacket's like my favorite jacket, it's
I love that jacket. I mean, also, having the riding reflective, and they are a great
exactly.
quality. I love Brad and Amber, awesome. I love those two.
No, they're great. I love watching her coffee stuff. But that jacket, I had no road rash. I had zero road rash. It was just, everything was broken from, the flight of all of it. But if I didn't have his jacket on, yeah, who knows? It would have been, yeah.
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 Because you came into some damage. I mean, what, broken pelvis?
So, it was shattered pelvis, dislocated, broken ribs, pneumothorax, broken arm, broken clavicle, torn rotator cuff. Yeah, I got pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so.
But alive and here and still riding and wouldn't change it. I got moments when riding and even yesterday, cars coming over doing the stupid stuff, splitting lanes, and I see you. I can see what I am anticipating. I know that you're gonna come over. I can tell or whatever. But people just doing dumb shit, all the time, and it's I don't like it. Can't stand it, but still out riding because I don't see myself not. It's such a huge part of my
Passion of
life.
life. Yeah.
I was miserable not riding, and on bad days like that throttle therapy, we joke about it, and people who don't ride just don't get it.
Yeah, I think the throttle therapy, and another one that I never thought of that was great when I had Long Haul Paul. His episode aired last week, and he came out with another one. One of his he uses was Moto Medicine. I'm like, that is
Oh,
genius, which is very true. You have those days. I mean, there's days for me of like you're stressed, like I got to go for a ride. It could only be 10, 20 miles maybe, but it's just that amount of time. Whether you got 15 minutes, just go up the road, hit a few, for me, a couple back roads up through some farmland, up through the hills, whatnot, and come back home. But it's like you get that release, like, I feel better. You get in the wind, you get that throttle therapy, or as Paul put it, that Moto Medicine, and it can just really clear your head.
and that's an insane thing. I've never really dabbled in the drug thing or whatever, but I mean it's got to be something like that addiction or whatever, and your body craving that, those weeks where work is hard or whatever, and just needing that moment. And like you said, I actually took the sporty out. I hadn't started him for a minute, so I had no destination, didn't know what exactly to do, and it literally was just riding around town for 20 minutes and felt so much better afterwards. It's
Yeah.
kind of a crazy thing.
So how long were you down for with the wreck before you could, were able to get back out on two wheels?
So I was in the hospital for 2.5 months. And after that, so that happened in February, and I think it was in September that I took my first like put around, didn't really tell anyone, didn't tell mom and dad that, we were gonna, do this again. I had no feeling on the bottom of my foot, could not tell if my foot was on the ground or, anything really with that. Rode out to Long Beach and met a friend and, slowly eased back in from there. I don't know. It was hard though during that time, and seeing my friends, they rode out to Colorado. That was probably one of the most painful things, was seeing your friends, your buddies doing the ride that you wanted to do with them and not being able to. That sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Springer Mike up in Wyoming. So it's not stupid people, it's stupid wildlife.
Yeah. Well, yes, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Wind therapy is a thing, says Nick.
100%. And
which those two, I mean, Springer Mike and Nick, they're both up in Wyoming. That's where they live.
Yeah, so I need to know where to go up there. So you got to send me some info. But being down, I will say just that appreciation. And I wish that for nobody, but that appreciation of life, and then what actual being a biker and being on the motorcycle, so much more respect for it, love for it. I don't know how to say that.
Well, and I remember seeing, there was, fundraising whatnot with the community down in that area, was doing a lot, trying to do stuff to help you with things, which, it's awesome to see that, the motorcycle community, it's like its own family, and, that they are great at, rallying around and supporting those, when you get in those type of incidents, going through hard times, tough times, and whatnot, and the family will rally behind you and do what they can and help out.
Yeah, I've never been, I was the kid picked on in middle school, all of this stuff, the kid who didn't have many friends, I had a major breakup of, being with someone for 19 years. And that's when I really delved more into riding, because, that's just what I did. I'd hop on the bike and get out and prove to myself I could do it independent, but this community, these people, my friends that I've made from all of this, like, I don't know how normal people are, but I swear that this community is just like the most awesomest thing. And like you said, someone goes down, everyone rallies, or we talk a lot of shit for some of it, but like I've gotten the most help from other people who have been down, the most support. I do a cancer ride. I've done the Ride for Hope now 3 years. All of the money goes to the hospital that I work at, City of Hope. We're an all cancer hospital, and I think for the 3 years we've raised like over $15,000 for the hospital, and that all comes from just
that's awesome,
generous, charitable motorcyclists. That's all them. I just throw an event, so people are awesome in this community. All of Wyoming is beautiful. All right.
No, it's not, Mike. Central Wyoming from east to west sucks. There's nothing. There's oil derricks and there's antelope. That's about it. That's all I got to say about that. But on either side, the east side, Devil's Tower, that's beautiful. The west side, you got the Tetons and all that. That's great. The middle, no, it sucks. But hey, that's just my opinion.
Fighting words.
Oh, it's okay, because that Yahoo in about 2 weeks is going to be at my house for 4 days. Him and his brother are riding out from Wyoming, and we're going to take them around the Northwest and show them a lot of great country we got up here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's so cool. I love that. Yeah. There's a Chopper Fest in the UK. So over the pond next year, and I'm planning on getting a ticket flying out there. I met a friend. We talked about these online friendships that happen just because your love of riding. And he owns a shop out there, whatever, and heading to that Chopper Fest next year.
The one thing, if you get over there, you got to look up. Which was awesome. I'd found them online. Found their history. It's called the Aces Cafe. It's one of the oldest motorcycle and hot rod hangouts in England.
Okay.
And actually, during World War I, it was actually one of the targets, and the Germans bombed it, and they rebuilt it. But it is one, I guess, the biggest hangouts. And they actually sent me a couple stickers that I have on my beer fridge, which unfortunately my beer fridge died. I can't get myself to throw it away because it has so many awesome stickers on it. But it's got to go soon. But no, that is a great piece of history, and there's so much cool shit. If you check out the Aces Cafe in London, you can, Google it, find them on Instagram, but it is a pretty damn awesome place. It's on my bucket list. I'd love to get over to England, ride Scotland. The UK would just be so freaking awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to ask him if he's been. That's cool. Eric also confirmed nothing in Wyoming. I think I saw one HD Tech.
Yeah, Central Eastern Wyoming sucks.
He's riding with me, so I'm sure he's just gonna be like, okay, well.
It's just flat. I mean, yeah, there ain't much to see at all. You'll see a shit ton of antelope and all these little oil derricks just going up and down, and that's what you see.
Okay, well.
But the one thing I will, that's going to be smart is, once you figure out kind of the route you're going to take, is look at towns for fuel, because some of those can be pretty far spaced out. When it comes to, knowing your fuel range is going to be important. I would recommend, a fuel bottle or two to pack it on your bike.
We just had this conversation yesterday about that. Because the Dakota Digital, the percentage or whatever, nothing's matching real well or whatever. I was just pushing it to see. I was on, 0% for, a very long time, just, clenched, wondering if I'm gonna make it. But being prepared for that, I went to EDR, and when we went to Mexico, it was like 150, 160 mile stretch. And there were so many Sportsters off on the side of the road, that had run out of gas. But we'll have our siphon stuff in our bottles for sure.
Yeah, and actually, I got that idea when Jason sets her pendants. When he rode it from Texas, he was packing 2 of them on his road glide. I'm like, that's genius. And now, I mean, I got 2 of them, which one I gave to my son. We got the lowbrow custom, so they got a nice case.
Yeah.
So you can just strap it on your bike. I mean, 2 of them, it's not a lot, but it's enough that can get you far enough down the road or whatnot. But yeah, planning your route through Wyoming, it would be very smart to definitely check and be ready for fuel, and really pay attention to fuel stops and going through, especially if you do Central.
100%. Yeah. Those bottles, luckily I've always been pretty equipped with all of that stuff, but I've definitely been the one who's had the tools and had the extra canister for people when we're going out. So,
and that's just it. It might not be you needing it. It could be somebody else. And, it's whether it's a liter or 2 liters of gas, it could be enough to get, you or somebody else far enough down the road to get to that fuel stop. It's, it's the old, the camaraderie when you see a bike on the side of the road. Hey, let's see what's going on. Especially in that neck of the country where, it could be a simple thing as they just need some gas. Like, hey, boom, here you go, man. Let me help you out. It's, the camaraderie and respect of everybody that, enjoys life on 2 wheels.
Yep. Feel that.
And so many people forget about that in this day and age.
Yeah. But I feel like at least in our community, I don't know what it is. Even for me, like I'm trying to do the thumbs up. Like, are you okay to the guy on the side of the road, or do I need to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Back on your ride.
Hey, now, there's nothing wrong with having that bagger lifestyle. And mine's back to being the bagger. I got my tour pack back after a little incident where my bike got backed into and my tour pack got a little boogered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the worst part, it was my son that backed into it.
Oh, shit.
But luckily, I have an amazing friend that's one absolutely amazing body man. I called him. He's like, bring it up to me. I took him up. He looked at it. He's like, when's your next ride? I said, 2 weeks. He goes, I'll get it back to you this weekend.
Dude,
And he did. He had it like 5 days and totally rebuilt the entire bottom of it, sanded it down and rebuilt it, and glassed everything. And it's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, for our ride, we were looking at, I mean, everyone's awesome who's obviously going with us or whatever. In the end, I think there's at least like 12 or 13 people who are part of our crew. But we've got like a police officer, a sheriff, the nurse, and then we've got Eric, who's a master tech for Harley. So it was like, at least we're pretty set up. Law enforcement.
There you go.
Happens, we're good.
And then 3 days before the ride, you have like 6.
But I think for our group, I think there's like most of them are on baggers, and then there's just a few of us on the low riders. So we're kind of having like a rivalry going on right now.
That'll be a fun group, though. That'll be an awesome ride. And,
Yeah.
you know, in some, you know, the pack riding groups like that, it can be a lot of fun. I think sometimes and I don't think there's right numbers to, you know, where it gets too big, but it's just fun, that camaraderie, you know, fucking mobbing as a pack going somewhere and traveling, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. And I just figured if people want to do something different, we can break apart. But, you know, everyone knows the end location or this and that. Go your speed, whatever.
Yeah. That'd be my son, Seth.
Oh. He got called out online now, so
yeah.
Know, I don't know.
He's not here. He's at the gym, so we're safe right now. Which is good. No, I'm excited. I'm, you know, seeing people that take those kind of trips and you know those adventures it's so much fun to follow it, and then just even afterwards, you get in touch with them, say when it's still fresh on their mind, and you know, tell me the story, because that's so much is why I love doing this, is you know, hearing those stories of people and they take those kind of ventures, and you know, some of them, you know, could be your longest trip or adventure you've taken, and you get with them right afterwards and everything's fresh. You hear the stories, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, the guys, the Black Flies, the Roll 2.0 with Papa One and Roji and all of them, the Goo, like following them doing their last trip, and Roji get like running over things and had some bike issues or whatever. I mean, it sucks, but like that's such a cool story for everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he hated it. I can't imagine, but like,
it sucks in the moment. I've been there, broke down at the start of a big trip, and you're stuck on the side of the road for, you know, me for 5 hours, and at the moment it sucks. You know, I was able to fix it when a buddy took a 200-mile ride to pick up the part I needed, but at the end, it's all part of the adventure. The stories, the fun. You can look back at it. It's like, you know, it sucked, but you know what? You suck it up, and it's part of the adventure.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So how much stuff you got? You know, any ideas, more gear you're going to plan, or you think your bike's pretty well outfitted? How you got it set up, or
it'll need tires. It'll need some tires. Definitely. I feel pretty confident with what we've at least done. Because knowing what it took to get to, you know, riding up to Washington, so I'll have pretty much the same setup, and if anything, bigger and better for the bags and all of that. But I hate riding with gusty wind and everything, and I'll be honest, that is like my nemesis in riding. I take the wind. I've ridden through hail, we've ridden through snow, all of that, but like the wind. So you can't really prepare for those excuse me, those gusts at all. So it's just mentally, I think, for me, the mental thing, just being a year and a half since that accident and everything, trying to get ready that way. That's what I need to unpack or look at and prepare for. The longer riding days, I'm not as strong. I've got daily pain and all of this, but to be, prepared for this and just to enjoy it and have fun.
And that's the bottom line, is just have fun and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Ride your ride and enjoy it. Because that's what it's all about. Just having fun.
I got the greatest group going. I think we'll have fun, and nobody would ever leave me behind. So we'll figure it out. It'll be good. Yeah.
Now, do you got any sort of, windshield protection whatsoever? A small, fairing or anything on the front for wind, or are you just open bars?
So Memphis Shades, they've been really good to me.
Awesome.
So they hooked me up for this bike as well for the fairing, the shield, and then I've got the hand guards. So I think it's 11-inch, windscreen.
Push some of it, yeah.
One of our buddies actually just got the big old, what are they? The FXR.
Oh, the whole front fairing.
Yeah, like he's just upgrading. He's like, I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere and have the wind, whatever. So, boy went out and he's working on all of that to get that already. I'm just like, it is what it is. It'll come. We'll figure it out. It'll be good.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be an awesome adventure and a lot of fun.
Never stop riding. Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy because, my nursing friends, nobody understands why I'm still riding. It was super hard, super emotional for me when telling mom and dad that I was still gonna ride. And it's like they knew. I swear it's like, they just knew that it wasn't, all my friends and all of that. The life that I've built is literally around motorcycles. The friends that I have, that's our commonality. That's what we love. That's, and riding saved me. Like I was depressed and in a really bad place after, losing my 19-year best friend and relationship and all of that and having to pick everything up, and riding literally just brought me back to life. It gave me my friends. It gave me, my peace of mind, all of that. And so for the most amount of pain and all of that we went through, by that accident, I would never trade this lifestyle, what I got, for anything.
Yep. No, I can understand. I mean, when I was younger, I got in a really bad wreck. And I mean, I had my head reconstructed. They peeled my face off to my lips and rebuilt my face and skull. And people are like, why would you still ride? Because I love it. It's part of my life. It's fun. It's what I do. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
You just get back on. And, you look at people like that. You get in a car wreck. It's like, are you still driving a car? Yeah. Well, why? You got in a bad wreck. Or, it's the old saying, you get bucked off a horse, you get back on.
Yep. 100%. I'm still standing. And I always say now, I ride better than I walk, because I got a mad, like, it was Adam, PDX crew. He was said he's cripple walking, like crip walking, but cripple. And I've always loved that. Like, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a mad gangster lean or whatever, but riding, can do that just fine.
It's part of your soul.
100%. 100%.
Well, awesome, man. Thanks for, coming and hanging out and kind of sharing some stories, adventures, plus what you got going on. I'd love, after Sturgis, I think it'd be a lot of fun to get you back on after, because that's going to be, what, is that your longest trip you've ever done so far?
That'll be the longest trip. Yeah, for sure. I've done pretty much the West Coast up and down, and like into Mexico or whatever, but to go this way, I haven't done that yet. So, seeing
No,
more of the states and all that. So, I'll be letting you know what I find in Wyoming.
yeah, no, it'd be a lot of fun when you get back. Whether it's a week or two after the trip, it'd be a lot of fun get you back on
For
and hear the
sure.
stories, adventures, and what do you thought about you know riding that much farther, and you push yourself, you go a little bit farther. It's so much fun. But I'd love to hear the adventure, the stories, and whatnot, and heck, even maybe get a couple more of your crew on, just have a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, dope. Yeah, it'll be fun. Those guys are great, so I'm sure that they would love to do that. And my ass will be looking into definitely the wild ass thing because the hip and all of that. So we'll
Oh
let you know
yeah,
afterwards how that is, what we think of that.
I would recommend the Smart Classic. It's their top of the line one, but it is freaking amazing. I mean, like I said, I have somewhere between 15 to 20,000 miles on mine, and I fucking love it. I won't ride without it, and that's just
Okay.
me. I spent a lot of time in it, and it adds so much more comfort. And instead of buying a seat, I mean, seats aren't cheap. I
No,
mean, these cushions aren't really cheap, but I think it's 259, 269 for the classic, and it's worth it for sure, in my opinion.
we'll try it. Yeah, definitely. So thank you for that.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoy
Yeah,
this stuff.
thank you. I'm excited, and like I said, if your friends who have those recommendations or whatever, let them know. I'd
I
love
will.
to.
I'll get them in touch with you for sure.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Heck yeah. So, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in and hanging out tonight in Milepost 103 with Alicia. It's been a lot of fun. So, everybody, you ride safe, have fun, enjoy the open road, and we will catch you next week for Milepost 104. Later, guys.